Welcome back to the Falcon Dive, everyone. We are here on a beautiful summer day, back with some of our transfer coordinators from the admissions office. So welcome. Why don't we go ahead and do some introductions to kick us off? Would you each mind sharing who you are and a fun fact about yourself?
So my name is David Tolles. I work in the admissions office on multicultural outreach and transfer advising. And a fun fact that I'd share about myself is when I was younger, when I was thinking about what dream job I wanted, admissions counselor was obviously number one, but number two was to be a food critic.
Oh, I can see it.
David, are you really telling me when you were little you wanted to be an admissions counselor?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
Totally.
Cool.
Dream
I did
job.
not know that.
Valerie.
Oh, that is awesome. Well, my name is Valerie Young. I am the transfer coordinator in admissions. And fun fact about myself is that I am also a UWRF mom, and I have two kids one's graduated and one will be attending UWRF coming up.
Runs in the family. All right, so we've got some fun questions to learn all about transfer students, what it's like to transfer to UW River Falls.
Why do students transfer to UWRF?
It's a great question. I see transfer students who come in for a number of different reasons. I always say that the reason for transfer is going to be as diverse as the students themselves. You know, for some students, it was the next logical step in the process. They had planned for that transfer pathway. They started at a 2-year institution, either close to home or they wanted to save money. And they had planned to transfer to River Falls after that. So that was just the next logical step for them in their process. The other reason that I typically see for students is what I like to call a change of plans. Let's say you went somewhere else, you had some expectations for that specific institution, it didn't meet your expectations, or something else happened in your life, something else came up, you needed to either move closer to home, maybe move far away from home. There were some other things that happened in your life, and so that led you to transfer to another institution. It could be that, let's say you got a new job, you need to relocate. Let's say you had stopped out for a couple of years and you wanted to come back and finish your degree. Maybe you have an associate's degree and now for an advancement in your next career, you need a bachelor's degree. Ton of different reasons why students will transfer. And I always say that we're going to help you no matter what your reasons are going to be. We'll get you connected with the right folks when you're on campus and make sure that we're matching up with what your goals and dreams are going to be.
Your goals and dreams, David. That was a big one.
Our next question is probably one of the most popular questions we're asked from transfer students. How do credits usually typically come in? Could you talk a little bit about those transfer credits?
For the transfer of credits, we have a great process here. So students calling in can have an unofficial review done by admissions advisors. We have an opportunity to look at the credits they've currently taken and where they will come in according to the program that they're interested in. We, of course, are partners with Transferology, and we use that as a tool within our school. And students are able to go in and enter all of their credits to see how they will transfer. We do recommend once they do that to definitely contact an admissions advisor like David and myself so that we can walk them through that process and where those credits are falling within a program, because sometimes there are exceptions to those courses and we can get them applied to a program. And of course, then they can meet with faculty to talk about those specific courses and how they might apply. So of course, when a student applies, they have an official review of their transcripts, and that is done through the application process. And then there's a final review of the equivalencies by a faculty advisor who works directly with the classes for their program. So really, the transcripts are touched 3 different times to make sure that we bring in every single credit that we can for those students. If they're still at their institution and they are looking for help in selecting courses that transfer directly to UWRF, we can do that so that they'll stay at their institution, they can finish their associate's degree or their plan, and make sure that they're taking courses that transfer directly to UWRF.
And even speaking to as someone that was a transfer student when I came to campus, I don't know if I was just irresponsible, that could have been it. But I was not worried about my credits okay, David, for whatever reason, I was not like, wow, are my credits going to come into River Falls? So I didn't look at it at any step through my transfer process. And all of my credits came in from Century Community College. So River Falls really is a strong spot to support those credits in the work that you've done in high school, potentially, or after. So that's really good to see on the personal side and physically as well with what we're doing.
So living on campus is a big question. Are transfer students able to live on campus? Can you share a little bit about where do students choose to live that transfer to UW River Falls?
Yep, so we definitely have options for transfer students to live on campus. We have what we call a 2-year on-campus experience for students who are typically in their first or second year of college. And so those are traditionally in our what we call traditional style residence hall, where it's set up as a double room. So it's you and a roommate sharing that space, and then you have common amenities in the middle that you share with the rest of your floor. For our transfer students who are a little bit older, we also have what we call suite style options. And so in our suite style options, we have one that is set up as pod style, and we also have one that's set up as apartment style. In the apartment style, basically you walk in, it's your own individual apartment. There's 4 bedrooms, and then you and the 4 roommates in that space. You can get your own room in there, which is super exciting for most students. Share the kitchenette, share a bathroom, and then also the common living space, the living room in the middle. The pod style, you have about 22 to 26 students per pod, depending on the size. The whole pod will share a common living space and then a kitchenette area in there. And then the pods break down a little bit further into smaller sections in there as well, typically about 6 students per section. And then that whole individual section will share the bathroom, also set up as double rooms in those spaces too.
Sweet options.
Literally, John?
Literally the sweet options. That's good.
Thank you so much.
I loved living in the suites. It is super nice.
All right, what is the experience like as a transfer student at River Falls? Can someone share a little bit about that?
It's a great question. I always say that, and I said this for all students, but college is what you make of it. You have a ton of different opportunities. There's a ton of ways to get involved, and there's a ton of folks on campus who are here to support you and figure out what you want your experience to look like. When I see a lot from transfer students, they're looking for a new campus community to get involved in. So whether it's going to be academically, socially, they're looking for a little bit of change, a little bit of that kind of transition is going to happen throughout that process as well. But we're going to find ways for you to get involved, whether it's something you want to continue doing that you've been doing all along. So let's say it's music or art, a specific club or organization that you've been a part of that you want to keep doing, or if they want to try something new. Let's say you found a new hobby. Maybe you want to try that out. Maybe you picked a new major. You want to join a specific club or group that's involved in your kind of specific academic program. Traditionally, transfer students have a little bit more better idea for what they want to get involved in. They have a little bit better idea for what their interests are, what their passions are going to be. So it's super easy for us to kind of help you make those connections when you get here on campus. There's a ton of groups and organizations. Student involvement is a great opportunity at reaching out for students and making those connections happen. We also get some students, I do want to point out too, where they're really, really focused on finishing their degree. They want to get involved in the campus community, but they're super focused on getting their degree. They might be a little bit less involved, but I also want to point out that that's a really great experience for students as well too. We want to help you however you want to be helped, right? So we're not going to force you to join a club or organization if you don't want to join one. We're always going to tell you what those options are going to be. But if you want to be super focused on your academics and finish your degree and then do whatever you want to do outside of that space, just know that those are also options for students too. You're never going to be pinpointed and pinholed into doing something.
That was a huge difference that I didn't know I was gonna have when I was a transfer student coming from a community technical college to River Falls. Was the difference in what David was just speaking about, that you have the choice if you want to focus on academics or if you want to be involved. Because when you're at the community or technical college, it feels like everybody's just going for the academic aspect. Like, I'm going to class and I'm going to work right after. So River Falls really does have that community that you can build on in a way that feels special to you, that I didn't experience at my community college, that other people might not either. So we got a lot of good stuff set up. John, is it time for fun questions?
Yes, so ready.
Okay, I'm like super duper excited to hear your answers, you two. Okay, you start, John.
Okay, Valerie, this one's for you. An interesting question. What is your cure for the hiccups?
My cure for the hiccups is my daughter tries to drink backwards, and I've watched her try to do it upside down backwards deal, and she swears it works. There's no way I would drown doing that.
Wow. So like the bottle's up here like this?
It's her head's upside down, and she has the cup. It's very interesting.
She's doing a handstand?
It's I don't know. She puts her head upside down and then tries to get I can't do it. I can
maybe I don't know. Okay.
So when I was little, my grandmother used to have us eat a teaspoon of sugar and thought that would help. So when I was little, I would fake hiccups so I could have a teaspoon of sugar.
Facts.
Now I just try and stretch, actually, because it's the diaphragm that's spasming. So I just try and do some stretches. That's my only cure.
All right. Thank you for that. I've got some new options to try next time.
Okay, sorry. All right. David, when was the last time you were snooping and found something you wish you hadn't? Tell us.
Oh, that's a good question.
Right? I mean, yeah.
Last time I was snooping and I found something that I wish I hadn't. Ooh.
Yeah.
It was like this weekend. It was on social media. I had a friend who tagged another friend, and the other friend I hadn't talked to since like probably early high school.
Okay.
But I found out that she just got a new job. She's moving to a new city. So I was super excited for her, but I hadn't really talked to her at all. And then I found out that she deleted me off of Facebook because we were Facebook friends early on, and I couldn't figure out why I just stopped seeing like her posts just because she had unfriended me. So I kind of wish I hadn't known I was unfriended. I just would have like let it be unfriended.
Do you want to call him out via the Falcon Die? No, I'm just kidding.
Nah, I'm over it. I'm good now.
I'm over it. It just happened, but we're moving on. Okay. Okay. Thank you for that, David.
You're welcome.
Okay, awesome. Those are our fun questions for you two. Thank you both so much for participating in the Falcon Dive. It is a little wild having you two in this space and seeing up close and personal the support that you provide for our transfer students. So thank you both. But is there any final notes from either of you before we say goodbye?
I just would want to leave it with wanting transfer students to know that we are here to support them in any way that they need us to. It's can be a confusing process, and it's difficult to relearn a process at a new institution. So we are here to help and walk students through every step of the way. So we're here to support them.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Thank you both so much. And to everyone watching, from John and I, oh my gosh, thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one, okay?